guys. Welcome. You are listening to Numbers Don't Lie with me, Dr. Michele. We are listening on Cityscape. Yes, Cityscape. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'm your host, Dr. Michele, and I have my very special guest with me, Teresa Pelham. You know her, you've seen her before. She's one of my favorites because what we do works so well together. And we're coming off the heels of our workshop, and we just wanted to talk about maybe some things that we've learned. What was the biggest takeaways that we heard from the audience members, and things like that. So you get to somewhat be a fly on the wall if you missed out on the workshop. But if you did, we also have another opportunity for you to be able to glean some of that information. So, Teresa, could you tell them a little bit about yourself before we dive in with some, dialogue between us?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Pelham from the Grants Boutique, where we offer comprehensive grant writing services. We find and apply for funding so you can concentrate on impacting your community. And so that's us. We have various services. We have the Grant Sleuth, which is doing research for you and finding grants for you to apply to. We have a grants course. We do training and technical assistance. We even do done for you. So if you have a grant or you would like to apply for a grant, we'll do it for you. So those are the many.
No, that's awesome because this was a takeaway from me. So if you were not able to make it to the workshop, just know you didn't miss out. I'm playing a little FOMO because you did miss out. We took a survey of the participants, and it was just the right amount of information, and they were able to learn something new that they can implement over the next 30 days. So these were business owners. We had some people that did both business owner, small business and nonprofit work. We had everybody was represented, product based. Everybody was represented from like multiple backgrounds. We had media. I mean, everybody was there. But my biggest takeaway from the audience members was they said, I've never applied for one because I didn't think I qualified. Most people assume that grants are only for nonprofit organizations. What about you, Teresa? Like, did you hear that come up a lot? Like, what do you say to that?
We did. They felt like grants are only for nonprofits or for larger corporations and enterprises. And so we were able to debunk some of those myths. And I was able to give them proof that, you can apply for a grant. I even gave them a free grant and walked through it with them. So you missed out.
Listen, you did. Teresa, she totally walked them through. Like, I don't think they knew what they were about to get into. But she was like, I want to walk you through this because even I wasn't aware of all the things. Like, it was kind of like the stuff that's behind the curtain that you don't know about when applying for grants, which kind of leads me to my next takeaway point, which is the amount of research that we actually need to participate in order to find a grant that's best for us. Because I think a lot of times I'm apply for any and everything. And it is not like, I think Teresa, you was like, you can apply for stuff, but you want to be able to increase the chance that you're going to actually win. And so that was another big take. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really have to do my homework before just sitting down to do this application, just turn it in real quick.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand that because there are thousands of grants out there, hundreds of thousands of grants that you can apply to, but you want to be strategic in what you apply to because you want to have that competitive edge. And so we discussed a little bit about that, how you can get that competitive edge. I even gave out some free sites that you can go to and find grants for your organization. So you missed it.
I love that. I mean, it is what it is.
But it's coming around again.
They did. It is coming around again. And in the meantime, we do Teresa, this might be your first time hearing it, but I thought, well, until we do it again, we have to give them something to hold them over. And so what I was thinking, and then let me know because the audience is listening. You may be listening on replay. I was thinking we should give them access to the VIP materials so that way they can watch the replay, they can get
Yeah.
those documents that streamline their success. So it's just like, well, I can't ask a question live, but the next best thing is to, listen to what the questions that were asked and take these resources that they gave and get to work. What you think?
Right. I think that's an awesome idea because the replay, it will go over everything that we went through. I also gave
Mm-hmm.
out some free documents, the budget builder, some other documents
Mm-hmm.
that I shared that I even use when I do grant writing and I use with my own clients. So you're getting firsthand information and materials and resources that you can use right now. You don't have to wait. You can use it
I
right now.
love that. I love that. So since we're mentioning it, I'm just going to go ahead and pop it on the screen really quickly.
Yes.
Oh, is it going to show? Oh, there it is. So
Yes.
you can scan that QR code there. We didn't even change the price because we want to make sure that you get, that cost is not a barrier. It's only $29. You get the access to the replay, a list of grants. You get some other bonuses to streamline your success. So it's just www.grantsuccessunlock.com/VIP. That's it. Grantsuccessunlock.com/VIP. And it'll like you don't even have to like wait for us to see the email. You're gonna get everything very quickly. So just want to make sure you guys
Right.
saw that, got access to that immediately.
And the key thing is
Okay,
grants. The key thing is grants success unlocked. We're trying to unlock ways that you can be successful in getting the money. I mentioned when we were talking that there are $1 billion in grants, billions. They can be from federal, state, local governments. They are from foundations and corporations. They are, so many people are giving out grants. And we just want you to be able to get some of that grant money to change the trajectory of your business and your community.
Absolutely. I need to find that statistic that I put in during the break. It was talking about the billions of dollars that was available in grant funding just from the federal government. I think it was federal and state, but just from the government. It was like billions, like not like 1 billion. It was like multiple $billions. That doesn't include the businesses that give out grants. That doesn't include banks that give out grants. That doesn't include those other entities. So there are billions of dollars that are out there, no matter what your background is, whether it's a nonprofit world or you're a business owner, or perhaps you're just someone that is a church, like you represent a church, or you're someone that is actually participating in a project that they have a need for. There is something out there for everybody, and there are billions of dollars waiting for you to go grab it.
Yes. And it's so when you said that churches and businesses for-profit, nonprofits, there's such a myth that you all think that you all can't get grants, but you really can get grants. And I just want to be there to help you get that. I want to debunk some of those myths that's out there.
Teresa, speaking of myths, what are some other myths that came up? Because I know that one about business owners, like that was a huge one, Barry, we had to definitely break down. Right. But what was something else, either a myth or just something came up that's just like, oh, we definitely need to fix this because it's a misconception?
People think product-based businesses can get grants. And there were some product-based businesses on there and they can get grants. A lot of times people think about services. If I have a service to give, like in a nonprofit, I have a service so I can get a grant. But if you are a product-based business, there are some grants out there for you as well. And you don't have to be large.
That's so true.
You don't have to be a large corporation to get it. You can be a small business. I shared, and I'll share again, that it's an organization in Florida who give grants out to mom and pops. Their mom and pops businesses are the ones like family-owned small businesses. They call them mom and pop businesses, where it's an organization who give grants out to them in Florida. Come on.
Nice. I mean, I gave the example of how I was a teacher. This was back in the day. This is over 10 years ago. Well, almost 10 years ago at this moment. But I was a teacher and I won grants 2 years in a row from an energy company because
Mm-hmm.
again, it was a private business. It was not a part of
Mm-hmm.
those billions of dollars from the government. Private business, but I was a teacher. So I was the avatar of who they were wanting to give money to. So for
Mm-hmm.
those that are educators out there and those that know educators, let them know you can fund your projects in your classrooms. That's what they were looking for. Like, tell us a project you want to do. We want to fund it. Think of a project
Right.
you want to do that you've been like, man, if I had the money, I would do it. If you have a project in mind, there are companies out there that are willing to fund your vision. You just need to
Mm-hmm.
get on that dang on computer and find it.
And remember, I shared a tip during the thing, during our online training is that code.
Mm-hmm.
I gave an example of a company that's in my area who didn't even advertise that they gave out assistance. So I just so
Mm-hmm.
happened to say, let me call them. And so I called them, and this was for our church. We was doing a food backpack program. And so I called them and say, hey, do you offer assistance to the community? This is my church. We want to do this. And we got a grant for them. They didn't even
Yeah,
advertise
that's
that
good.
they gave out grants. So, you know, you got to call. So I gave some
That's
tips and
good.
tricks.
No, that's good. Because I didn't know that either. So the same way they were out there learning stuff, I too was learning some things out there because I didn't know you could just pick up the phone and call people. And that's one thing that Teresa said over and over. She said, call. Like, don't think that people don't want to hear from you. Don't think there's this magic black box out there when you're applying for these grants. She was like, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand something, if you want to know more about their past winners, if you want to know more about what they're looking for, she said, just get on the phone and
Mm-hmm.
call somebody. And for me,
Yes.
I didn't know I could do that. And so, for those of
Yes.
you that are listening, you might not have known that either.
Right. And I one thing about the lotto grants, they when they have their winners, they're published their winners. So you know that hey,
Mhm.
this organization they kind of have the same mission and vision as I do. Let me see if I can call
Right.
them and
Yeah.
they can offer some suggestions on how I can apply and win this grant as well. And some organizations will. Now some of them won't, but some of them will and be very helpful to you and help you provide you suggestions on what you need to do to apply for this application and win as well.
That's good because the worst that someone can say is what, Teresa?
No.
No.
But no, no. But
Teresa.
the most of the people that I come in contact with when I do call, they are very helpful. They'll say, sure, we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Especially if it's a grant you can only get one time. Most of them like, sure, I can offer you
Mm-hmm. That's good.
some suggestions that yeah, I'll help you.
Yes.
So
That's good because if they can't get it again, it's like what they have to lose. It's not like you're their competition anymore.
right, right.
That's
Can't be so
good. And that, I mean, I didn't even think about that grants that you can win one time. Like, can we park there? Well, you know what? Before we do that, let me go ahead and remind the listeners who you listening to. You are listening to Numbers Don't Lie with me, Dr. Michelle, on Cityscape Radio. Yes, Cityscape Radio, which Brownstone Worldwide houses Cityscape Radio. You are listening to us live right now with me, Dr. Michelle, and my special guest, Teresa Pelham. And we are giving you a recap of our biggest takeaways from our grant workshop. If you were not able to make it, we want to make sure that you get a little piece too, because there are billions of dollars of grants out there for you. Now, where can you find more of this? You can find more content like this on Cityscape Radio, so you can download the app. You
Mhm.
can also check us out on brownstoneworldwide.com, where we have tons of content for you, news and blogs and I mean, it's like clothes and just things that you can purchase. If you're a business owner or perhaps a nonprofit, you want to get your voice out there, you can also be a subscriber. You can be a subscriber to get your information and your product and service into the hands and the eyeballs of other viewers like you. So you just go to brownstoneworldwide.com. You can learn you can get your information out there as an advertiser. And you can also be a subscribe to Brownstone Living Magazine. So I love the fact that you can subscribe to Brownstone Living Magazine. I'm gonna try to pull that image up there real quick because somebody special is on the cover. Let's see if I can find that picture for y'all.
A beautiful
I'm
cover.
on the cover. I'm gonna find it. Yes, I'm gonna get the picture, but I'm on the cover. You can subscribe to Brownstone Living Magazine for only $5.99. You better hurry for the price go up. But yes, that's a mouthful. Just want to make sure who you listening to.
Right. And Dr. Michele, I want them to know that I will be a future contributor in Brownstone Magazine. So I'll be contributing grants and other information to help your business grow and find the funding.
Awesome. Teresa, tell them the name of your column.
Grants Success Unlocked. Grants Success
And it's going to be
Unlocked.
This magazine. Look at that. That's me, Dr. Michele. I got next. So you'll find Teresa's column about Grant Success Unlocked in each and every issue of Brownstone Living Magazine. So again, if you missed out on any of our workshops, or perhaps you don't get a chance to see Teresa on social media or meet her in person, you can see her tips and advice in Brownstone Living Magazine. So that's worth $5.99 a month for me.
Yeah. So you're getting all this. I'll be posting articles. I'll be doing grants that you can do. I have interviews. Maybe you're into venture capital funding or something. I'm going to interview a couple of people. So anything, all funding and your business. So I'm going to be contributing to that.
I love that, because one thing I did think about venture capital funds when we were talking earlier, because I think the biggest takeaway that we wanted people to get from this workshop was that, at least for me, being a data person, is that all the work that you're putting into getting grants for your business, the same amount of effort can be applied. You can take that same effort and apply it to other type of funding, whether it's a pitch competition or venture capital funding. I don't think a lot of times we think about that, but they're going to ask for the same things. They're going to want to know what your budget is. They're going to know, where's this money going to go to? They're going to know what's the need, what's the what proportion of the market are you are you looking to go after? So the same amount of things that you're going to put into your grant application, especially the ones with big money, because venture capital funds, they're not no small coins. So if you're applying for a large grant, you could take that same amount of information, tweak it a little bit, and go get some venture capital funding too.
Yes. So I mean, it's going to be all things finance, grants, whatever. So it'll behoove you to subscribe to the magazine so you can get that information to help your business.
I love that. So yes, you just want to go to brownstoneworldwide.com and find out all those really great things that's happening, including being an advertiser and including subscribing to the magazine. Okay. Yes. So I lost my train of thought of what I wanted to touch on, Teresa. I don't know if you remember.
We had so many nuggets and so many gems to give you during the training. One thing I did talk about, if you get the VIP, I think you get the workbook. They get the workbook with the VIP. Yes. In the workbook, I even, broke down each component of a grant proposal, and I gave you questions to ask yourself to help you write each section, like your statement of need, your sustainability, evaluation, I kind of broke it down and have you to answer questions to get you think about some of the information that goes in there. So get that VIP bundle, and I'm telling you, it'll do good. You'll learn a lot, and it will really greatly help you. I ask those same questions to myself when I write $1 million grants. So
nice.
You got to,
because I think that's but I think that's a good point. That the same amount of information that it takes to win something small, Like you literally can keep going up. Because Teresa, you mentioned that when we went live, I think on Brown Summer Wild last week. You're like, you can win these small grants and keep getting your momentum. So it may start as $500.
Right.
It may start
Yes.
as 1,000, 10,000, and then you work your way up to the hundreds of the multiple hundred thousands. But it's you're going to be using the same information along the way. Yeah, you may have to add as you go, but it's not
Mhm.
like, you know what I'm saying, you're doing something out of left field. They're going to want to know, why do we need what you do, and
Right.
how are you addressing what we want you to address? So, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a large grant or a small one, you're going to need that information. And so the questions that Teresa asked you in that workbook, yeah, like it'll definitely
Yeah.
get your mind thinking, what do these grant
Right.
reviewers want to read from me?
Right. And that's the thing. As I'm using my experience as a federal grant reviewer to kind of help you and to let you see this is what the funder is looking for. So these are some of the same
Mm-hmm.
things. And as I stated before, when you go for those smaller grants, and each time you may go for a larger one, your momentum of storytelling is getting better. You are learning how to tell your story in a better, more efficient, and effective way to these funders to really
I love
say,
that.
I want to fund this project. So your storytelling is getting better.
That's good. I love that. I wanted to put the fire emojis, but this is the best that I could do was snapping my fingers. But no, that's good, because storytelling again is not just
Mhm,
limited to winning grants. Like you use it so many places. Use your
mhm.
storytelling during pitch competitions. Use your storytelling even during marketing. You can craft emails, and
Right.
you're getting people to understand what you do, who you are, and who you serve. And if that identifies, if you're selling a product, if you can get people to identify with you, then it's like they're more likely to buy your product. So practicing like that storytelling muscle is not just for this one thing. It's for so many things. Thanks for bringing it
Yeah.
up, Teresa.
Yeah, it is. And that'll help you. I mean, even having networking sessions and you want to tell them
Mm-hmm.
what you do, tell your story. You're perfecting that
That's
each
good.
time. So,
That's good. I didn't even think about networking. So again, flexing that muscle is good all around. That
yeah,
storytelling muscle.
right.
Good
So,
stuff.
keep keep telling your story and keep applying for those grants. We were asked a question. How many grants should I apply for? All of them. All of them you have time to apply for. Because
Mm-hmm.
the more you apply, like I said, the better you get, the more chances you'll get, the more money you could possibly win. So everyone asks me, well, which one? All of them that you're eligible for. And
That's
that goes
good.
back
I was gonna give
when I
that caveat.
right, right. And that goes back to the eligibility portion. Remember I was telling that sometimes we feel like we're not eligible because we may read the first
Mm-hmm.
line of the eligibility statement. It might say
Yeah.
nonprofits, LEAs, and LEAs are lead education or authorities, and that it may say state, local government, and then we just like, okay, I'm not qualified. But if you keep reading, it may say
Mm-hmm.
private organizations, faith-based organizations. So a lot of these federal grants, private organizations or for-profit organizations, and faith-based organizations, they can apply for them. But we stop. We stop at the first line. As you see nonprofits and you say, I'm done. Don't do that. Keep
Mm-hmm.
reading because you might be eligible for
Yeah, that's good, because that's probably the reason why people do feel like it's not for them. It's like I stop, oh, it's not for me.
it.
Listen,
Yes.
once I saw that I could apply for a grant as a teacher, I knew there was something out there for everybody. I knew it. And I'm in spaces where we talk about that. I'm applying for grants. So, I have personally been applying for grants maybe for like the last year and a half. And I think I've gotten $500 so far, Teresa. I
Hmm.
won a small, no, I think it was $100. It was like a small micro grant. But I said,
Hmm.
thank you to that $100. So,
Right. Right.
but
And we
that's momentum, like she was saying.
Yeah, and we went over
Wait.
another organization that I always use a lot is Hello Alice. And so we were
Mm-hmm.
actually went on Hello Alice site and I walked them through a grant. And I gave them some tips, and a lot of them was like, oh, I didn't know I can do. Yes. I gave them some tips and tricks on how to answer those questions. And so they were really shocked. And I'm like, okay, for every grant, you need to do this. And they was like, oh, okay.
That's
So it was a really good training.
No, it was really good. And I know for me, this was one of my biggest takeaways, like for me as a business owner that wants to do more applying for grants. Take the time because even though Teresa said apply for everything, if you were at that training, you would have saw the amount of effort that she and her team does to maximize the chance of winning. So it's not done on a whim. And I don't want you guys to think that just because you're applying for everything, you'll win everything. If you're doing things last minute and you're doing things on a whim, chances are you're probably not going to win. So that's why you really need to get access to this VIP so that way you can watch that replay as she takes you through those back doors that people don't know about. But because I was like, man, that's a lot of work. But if you do the work real good, one good time, you kind of
Yeah.
know how to do it and it gets
Yeah.
easier every time. Or like, it's just like, you know exactly where to go look. So the heavy lifting, just like anything new, comes the first time. But once you get it down, each and every time it gets easier, you get faster at submitting those grants. So now that you know better, I do want us to do better and not just apply for grants on a whim and then wonder why we're not winning. That was me before I met Teresa. Were you just thinking that, that you have a product or service that's so good? Yes, it may be so good, but you have to convince them that it's really
Right.
good. And there are thousands of other people that probably have told their story better than you. So,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to apply for as much as you can, but you also need to take the time to do it right the first time and not have to wait a year. Like, I wonder why I'm not winning.
Right. Right. Well, here's why. Let me give you, and it's
Right.
so much not the way, oh, this is the reason why I'm not winning. I want to give you a competitive edge to win. So we need to change your mindset. I'm not winning. It's not that the writing isn't that well, or I just want to give you a competitive edge to win. That's how.
I love that. That's great. I love that. And then I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. But one thing Teresa said, and y'all, you gonna see it in that replay. She said, "Make sure you get somebody proofread so you don't have no typos." Because if and like that, you don't have typos and grammatical errors. Because again, somebody else has to read this. If they can't follow your writing, I'm sorry, they're just gonna go
Yeah.
next. Like they're not gonna fight through they're not gonna
I'm
fight
not.
that grammar battle with you.
Not. I'm not. I'm just telling you, I'm not. And some people write the way they text. This is not text
Oh
messaging,
my
back.
god.
This is not text message. So I always say you need to have two people to read your one who don't know your organization. And because you want to see if that person, when they read it, do they know exactly what you do, why, how, when, where. So you need that person. Then you also need someone that knows how to edit and read over it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always do that. We'll read it and we'll be like, this person, I don't have a lot of confidence in their ability because their writing is
They
not
can't write.
telling me exactly. Yeah. I was
That's
gonna
your
say it.
first impression.
Yeah,
That writing is the first impression that you have.
your writing not telling
And
your
if it
story.
looks sloppy, right.
Yeah.
If it's messy, sloppy, or not cohesive, they're gonna assume that about you too. So that's a really great point and a really great point to end on. Teresa, how can the people find you?
I am on LinkedIn and I love people to connect with me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my baby. Also, you go to info at Grants Success Unlock, info at grants with an S successunlock.com. That's a make sure you email me. I would love to communicate to help you. I'm always giving out information. People are always calling me and asking me questions. I don't mind it. So admin at grantsuccessunlock.com. I said info, my apologies. Admin
It's
at
okay.
Unlock.
And
I just answer the questions when they bring them to me. I don't know. I just answer
and
the
you can
question.
find me, Dr. She does. Now don't abuse it now, because I'm gonna have to go like Teresa. No. And you can find me Mogul Beginnings, MOGUL, Mogul Beginnings on all things. I'm Dr. Michele, Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz. And do not forget about getting your VIP access to Grand Success Unlocked. That way you can grab that you can grab that the replay. You know, you can get secondhand experience with what we saw. So grandsuccessunlocked.com/VIP to grab that replay, those lists of grants and those bonuses to streamline your success. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on Numbers Don't Lie with me, Dr. Michele, on Cityscape Radio. We hope that we'll see you again. You can catch this replay very soon, but come check us out on brownstoneworldwide.com, see all the things happening. And yeah, y'all, hope a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.